So in 2006, Sir Ken Robinson literally broke the internet with his paradigm-shifting speech, "Do Schools Kill Creativity?" And it's been viewed almost 36 million times. So being a creativity junkie, I kind of thought, I wonder what kind of progress we've been making in the area of creativity and schools since that talk. Well, just 4 years later, IBM identified creativity as the #1 leadership competency of the future. And in that same year, Newsweek published an article called The Creativity Crisis, which explained to us that while kids' test scores were going up and they were doing better academically, their ability to perform on creativity measures was declining year after year. All the while, parents continue to send their kids to school. Here's my little guy, Harry, and this is in 2010, and this is his very first day of school. And this is him waiting for the bus with his big brother. Just look at his face. He is so full of excitement. You can see that his eyes are wide. His backpack is almost as big as he is. Pretty cool. For both of my kids, it never took very long for them to start sharing how much they did not enjoy school. I wonder why. Hey guys, what did you do at school today? Nothing. What did you learn about? I don't remember. What's your favorite class? Recess. Second favorite? Lunch. Third favorite? Gym. Art didn't even make it on the list. Eamon, trying to articulate his issues with school, once shared, "All they ever do is ask me questions." And I never thought about it that way, but I started to think, well, who's supposed to be asking the questions? So to synthesize my observations about our progress with creativity in schools, I've prepared a letter addressed to my own children and to my students. And to distract you from staring at me while I read it to you, I've illustrated most of my words with artwork by students I've worked with in my classes over the years. I believe they provide insight into how some kids might be experiencing school. The images were not made for this presentation, but were rather selected for impact and may not reflect the views of all students. So here I go. Dear Eamon, dear Harry, dear students, I have a confession to make. It's one that stems from the sensation that I get in the pit of my stomach when I take the time to stop and think about what the school system might be doing to you, because I can see you're stressed out. And I can see that sometimes you're disengaged, bored, aloof. Too often you're worried about getting the right answers, you're afraid of taking risks, to make mistakes, you feel anxious, and you find it hard to make decisions. You go through the motions, sometimes your work just feels like it's too much, and you just want to get it done. And I can't help but notice that you've stopped having wonder, you have little time to be curious, you drop courses when they affect your average, you see grades as a measure of your intelligence rather than a snapshot of your understanding, and you're scared to graduate. The confession I wish to share with you is that sometimes when I hear you say that school sucks, I kind of have to agree with you. I wonder, why does this system still divide you by age group and compare you to each other? Why competition seems to permeate our educational institutions despite the fact that we know that we learn better in collaboration with each other, or why your high school performance and what your high school performance really has to do with your potential for higher learning. I wonder why we house you in warehouse buildings, keeping you inside most of the day, even when it's beautiful outside. And I confess that it bothers me that you might think that I think this is all good for you. Truth is, the current structure of our school was designed to meet the needs of the past, the Industrial Revolution, and despite our changing environment, school has remained very much the same these many years later. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still lots of great things about school. We're blessed to live in a country where we have access to education, but I do think that the current experience leaves room for some improvement. I didn't get into this line of work to teach you to be a good little employee, although I wish you well with that. I got into this line of work because I believe so much in your potential. I want to help you discover, explore, develop your unique talents and gifts. I know you have ideas and dreams because I see them in your sketchbooks, and I want to help you make them come true. I believe that what you really need to know is how to best grow, care for, and use your unique body and brain to contribute meaningfully in this world, to learn that you create your life, so visualize it rich and colorful because you're a living artwork. And in the words of Brené Brown, the only unique contribution that you will ever make in this world will be born of your creativity. And I believe that it's through your contributions that you will find happiness and purpose. You need to experience the power of identifying and creatively solving problems that matter to you. This will teach you to be self-sufficient and resilient. And I know we can help you with this because research supports it. We can teach you to reframe situations for growth mindset, and with practice, we can set your brain up for success because neurons that fire together wire together. We can teach you to use these questions: how to, how might, in what ways might, and what might be all the ways, because they're very powerful and they can transform obstacles and problems into challenges that we can work to address. For instance, instead of there's nothing we can do to change the school system, we can ask, what are all the ways we can make changes? Or how might we rethink grades? Or how about what are all the ways students can show their learning in an authentic and meaningful way? And I could go on and on. We can share with you cognitive tools and a creative problem-solving process, and you can learn the differences between divergent and convergent thinking. In fact, we can help you understand all the ways your glorious brain works. We can feed you great food, develop habits of mind, and engage you in movement, because we know that your emotions, your health, and your fitness contribute to growing your brain and to learning. And we can remind you that we all learn things at different paces and in different ways. We can help you to get to know yourself better. Research has found that schools and teachers play a significant role in either fostering or hampering the development of your creative abilities. And that creative personal characteristics are developmental in nature, with the potential for the greatest change to happen during adolescence. And we also know that your attitudes about creativity are most likely to mirror the attitudes of your teachers in later adolescence. This gives us all the more reason to teach for creativity in our schools. Creativity does not simply dwell in the realm of the arts. Creativity appears in all subjects, every day, and all around us. Creativity is engaging in the world through the eyes of a possibility mindset. And to me, creativity's energy manifests to meet a need. It is a force used in combination with the languages of your experience and your aptitudes to bring ideas and dreams into physical and conceptual form. And creativity takes courage. You need to practice it a lot. It's hard and scary to do things in new ways and to solve problems that seem to have no one right answer. But if there were ever a time in our history that we need to harness the power of each and every individual's creativity to face our problems, the time is now. And I believe we can't afford to wait for you to grow up, to start sharing your ideas and solutions. We should engage you now and initiate change and solve problems right here from our classrooms. And we can do this by teaching for creativity, teaching creatively, and creating spaces that nurture and inspire possibility thinking and creative learning. And before you tell me that this can't be done, let me show you what some other people are doing. Lorraine Powell Jobs recently committed $50 million towards rethinking high schools. She invited people from all over the US to submit their ideas about what a super school might look like, and I can't wait to see what happens. If you think getting rid of grades is impossible, well, the Surrey School Board in BC is trying that out. And look what they're up to in Finland. They're no longer going to be teaching high school by subject. And for a radical idea, how about game-based learning? This is one of the hottest topics in education right now. And so 10 years ago, Ken Robinson asked if schools kill creativity. And since that time, I have learned that while they can, they sure don't have to. And I promise that as long as I'm part of the system, I will continue to work hard to evolve it. There are many passionate people all over the world working to do the same. Sincerely, your mother and your teacher. So if I or my students have painted a picture of school that you don't like, if any of this resonates with you at all, know that it is an exciting time, and education is on the cusp of an evolution. Why not get on board, start dreaming, and begin with these 4 questions. How to, how might, in what ways, and what might be all the ways. Let's use our creativity to think, imagine, share, design, and create the kinds of spaces we want and need our schools to be. Thank you.